Hi everybody, and welcome to the show. I have two wonderful guests here today. Pam and Darlene, welcome.
Thank you.
So we're going to talk about an organization called Window Dressers. But before we get into the Window Dressers organization, I got to tell you how it is that we're here today. I was at town meeting in St. Johnsbury, and there was somebody talking to one of our camera operators up on stage before we started the live event. And at the end of town meeting, when we were packing up, somebody by the name of Kathy came over and started talking to me about window dressers. I was absolutely fascinated by the whole thing that we're going to talk about today. So let's start there. Who is Kathy?
Well, Kathy is a live wire who is our outreach coordinator for our St. Johnsbury-based window dressers project.
Okay. Now, Kathy has been involved for a long period of time, a short period of time?
She's been participating in the community builds as long as we've been having them.
Yeah,
But
okay.
taking on this new role is something different for her.
Yeah. Well, she's doing a great job because here we all are today. So who is Window Dressers? I understood after just speaking with Kathy for a few minutes, at first, because of the name Window Dressers, I was thinking downtown this is going to be something to do with a community event. It is a community event, but it's very different from what I was thinking with storefront window dressing. So who is Window Dressers, the organization? And Darlene?
Window Dressers is an organization based out of Maine, but we have several community builds here in Vermont. In fact, Vermont has more community builds now than Maine because it's grown so much. Locally, there are 5 people basically who are the coordinators. Pam is the lead coordinator and she has an assistant. And we basically think of the community as window dressers. Anybody who wants to participate can participate, and a lot of people come to the community build.
So it's kind of a movement, a community movement.
It's a community movement, yes.
So what is it that you folks are doing with Window Dressers? Let's talk about what that is. So what is Window Dressers?
Window Dressers is a program that builds low-cost window inserts, interior inserts. So people who want to make their house more comfortable and want to save money on fuel oil and want to participate in community can order these inserts that are going to be custom made to fit their particular windows. And they cut down drafts. The program started in Rockland, Maine, when a church had some very, very drafty windows.
Sure, a lot of old churches are drafty.
Yes, and some people in the church designed these window inserts for that church. And they worked so well that members of the congregation said, we want some of those.
Yeah.
And from there, it's just spread by word of mouth, basically.
So what is the material? Are these solid pieces? They must be letting in light. What are the materials that these are made out of?
They're, the frame is a pine frame.
Okay.
And they come in a natural color or white, depending upon what the person orders. And then there's a film, very similar to the film that people used to put on their windows with the hairdryer, but it's a heavier duty film. And it's wrapped on both sides, so it gives you 2 additional air locks, so that helps to make them more efficient. Then we put on a foam around the edge, and that makes them fit nice and tight. When we go and visit people's homes and measure each individual window to 1/100th of an inch. We do that by a laser measurement. So each window is specifically fit for that window, each insert.
Yep. So wood frame, clear.
Clear plastic. It's almost as clear as glass. It's not like the old plastic that we used to put over windows, and you'd say, "Oh, I got to remove my cataracts in the spring.
It's like opaque more than it's
Yes,
clear.
this is clear. You can see right through it.
And then there's the foam around the edges
Right.
to help with efficiency. So this sounds like a pretty amazing product, but also an amazing project. You mentioned the measuring and the tight tolerances. So if I'm interested at my home about getting inserts installed, what's the first step? What would I do to get involved and make this happen?
So the first thing you'd do is go to the Window Dressers website,
Okay.
which is windowdressers.org.
Mm-hmm.
And then you would go to the Order Inserts heading, and you would fill out the form online. Or if you didn't have access to a computer or you didn't want to deal with online ordering, you would call the phone number that is provided on the,
And talk to an actual person.
and talk to an actual person who would take your information over the phone. Then somebody from the measuring team would call you up and arrange for a time to come and measure.
And that measuring team, now the phone number that somebody would call the website, is that in Maine?
It is in Maine.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the measuring part of it, that's local volunteers that are
Right.
doing that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I do a lot of measuring, and it's what I do is I call up the person and we set a date.
Yeah.
And go out and I measure their windows. We do ask for a payment at the time of measuring because they're custom.
Sure.
And we ask people to, if they have furniture in front of windows, if they could just kind of move it so we can measure them
Right.
more easily. And basically then they wait until the fall, and if I set up a time for them to come and participate in the community build, which is a fun event. Everybody who's come loves it. A lot of people come back even if they don't order windows. And we just ask that people contribute to the build, and they put in one shift for every 3 to 5 windows.
Okay, so somebody that might be on a fixed income or anybody could really just get involved in the process in one way or another,
Right.
and there would be some incentives there to save money.
We charge basically what people feel they can pay.
I see. Yeah.
Most people pay the full amount, but we have additional funds available. So if someone is unable to pay, we're able to subsidize that. And it doesn't matter whether you pay the full price or not. Everybody works the same amount.
Yep.
And
So-
Efficiency Vermont has
Right.
recognized that this is such a good weatherizing project that they make rebates available, $100 rebates available for.
So that's really
participants.
interesting. In Vermont, there's a rebate, from the folks at Efficiency Vermont. That's terrific. Just a quick question. I'm curious. What about the aesthetic? Do I want this in my home, in my window? I'm going to be staring at it for 8 months that we have winter.
They basically, you don't really see them because they fit in the same, visually they're the same as the window frame itself.
Yeah.
If you have natural woodwork, then you really don't see them that much. If you have white, then they do come in white, so people
Sure.
who have painted windows can get the white. It's
And-
a little more expensive for the white, but
And these are reusable. These would
they
be
last for
seasonal.
about 10 years.
Yep.
If you care for them properly.
Sure.
If you have a dog that puts their paw through the window, the build during the next year, you can have them fit it with plastic.
Yep.
There's a charge for that. It's like $15 for a charge for that, as opposed to the whole window. But we
Right.
do what we call redos.
So with all this going on, you mentioned a community build, having to go out and measure. Do you folks have a deadline to get this done? I've got to think that summertime is pretty busy to get people motivated to get ahead, to figure out how many you're going to need.
Really, now would be the perfect
Now's the
time for
time.
people to order. Well, they're thinking, wouldn't it be nice to live in a warmer house?
Sure. Yeah.
But the deadline, actually, people can order up through August.
Up into August, okay.
But now is the time to do it for real.
So to get involved, even if you aren't interested in purchasing the inserts, somebody that's handy, that's motivated, that wants to volunteer could work on a community build?
You don't even have to be handy.
Yeah.
It's set up so that each individual, what we call a station, people are just given a task and they do that particular task, and we instruct people on the task. And there was one person who had never used a drill before, and she was helping to build the frames, and the person who was showing her she said, this person really wasn't handy with the drill or anything like that. And at the end of the shift, she went over to her husband and she said, I learned how to use a drill. I learned how to use a drill. So, it's just a fun thing. And people, they come back even after they don't order any more windows. Kathy's not ordered any windows anytime, and she's been there over 5 years. So,
Yep.
And I've been there since we started it in Vermont. So it's just such a fun thing. And I've made friends with people that I've met at the build, and we've become very good friends. So it is a real community building kind of event, as well as helping with fuel costs and keeping warm and reducing the carbon footprint. So.
Yeah.
And reducing street noise. People have mentioned that they don't hear traffic as much because of that.
Something that you wouldn't think of.
Yeah.
And we keep talking about community builds. So what is that? The St. Johnsbury area, the Lyndonville area, what is the community for what we're talking about?
Our build is officially Central Caledonia.
Okay.
And on paper, covers St. Johnsbury, Linden, Burke, and Sutton.
Okay.
However, if people live outside of those areas, the process is they will sign up. Say if you lived in Kirby, you could still go to the website. The people in Maine will assign you to the closest build.
Yep.
There's a build in Craftsbury, there's a build in Southern Caledonia, which is at Carmicholing.
Mm-hmm.
So they basically will try to fit you in somewhere.
Yep. So we can describe it as a regional community effort.
Yes, it's regional. Mm-hmm. I mean, I've gone to Guildhall, I've gone to Kirby, I've gone to Victory, Wheelock, we go all over the place.
Well, thank you, ladies, for coming in and talking about window dressers. We have information about window dressers and how you can get involved, how you can get products, everything that you would ever want to know about window dressers at the end of the video. Thanks for watching.